Welcome everybody to USL Live Season 54 Preview Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric, and that's right, it's 54, not 28. Somehow we made it this far. The season, expect the same old drama. I'd say bad takes, but Ram is sitting this one out. Tonight we've got hot debates and questionable predictions. So without further ado, joining me tonight, we have Mecca.
Hello.
And Draco.
Hey, what's up?
How we doing, guys?
Just slow.
Perfect.
Great, you?
Not too bad, not too bad. All right, man. So we got a lot to talk about in regards to off-season changes, season format, squad breakdowns, power rankings, if you will, and the format and everything. So without further ado, we are going to start with the class changes. So from what Mecca and I were just told, we have Ranger. The marksman rifle will get an increase of 5 HP inner, which will increase it to 45, and outer damage to 35. What are your thoughts on that? Let's start with Draco, since Mecca already heard it.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think a lot of players in the league want more dynamic classes than the standard Marine and Medic. So I think like players like Chompy, I know they would probably benefit from that a lot because he loves playing that class. So definitely would love to see that, see how it plays out.
Okay, Mecca, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much of an increase, but I think it does make it a little bit more viable to actually play Ranger, which we haven't had a lot in the past. I would look for Chompy, maybe Danny to play. I know Danny has been loving Ranger. Kevin has been playing it quite a bit, so you might actually see some Ranger games this year. So I think it's good, and I don't think it's too OP. 45 seems like a lot, but it's not really that bad.
I don't think it's bad, but I think the LR combination with the throwing knife, because they're on separate load timers, makes it very, very strong. So that would be something maybe that might have been overlooked, or maybe there might be a last second adjustment to fix that. However, I think it's a pretty decent change. Next up was Sniper. Sniper rifle will increase to 35 outer. It is currently at 32, and inner will stay the same. They will still one-shot other snipers. Mecca, Draco, either of you have anything on that one?
No, not that big of a change.
No. Draco?
No, I don't think it's big of a change. I think the only thing I would do with Sniper, and I was just testing it out today, is just maybe increase the reload time just a little bit more, and I feel like Sniper would be a really good place.
Okay, fair enough. And let me just preface all this. All these changes and everything, I saw the roundtable chat. There was very good transparency from Fausto and everybody, all the captains, minus Bax, who, last minute squad formation, he wasn't in any of these discussions, but everybody else was very agreeable to a lot of the changes that took place, by the way. So without further ado, LMG will have instant nades removed and 5 less bullets in its clip. So last season it was 45. Now it's down to 40. What are we thinking?
This is what everybody's been clamoring for. So, excuse me, I'm glad it's down to 40. It's still going to be OP. It's still only one slot, so that checks out. But the loss of instant nades combined with the extra 5 gone from the clip, I think, puts it in a lot better spot as far as balance goes.
Yep.
So the damage hasn't been reduced at all either?
No.
So it's still the same damage?
Yep.
Okay. So I think instant being removed is definitely a nerf for sure, but I still feel like maybe damage should just go down just a tad bit, but we'll see how it plays out. I think it's a good change. We'll see how it goes.
It's a good start.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Exactly.
it's you don't want to just gut something, right? And then all of a sudden you don't see it played at all. That's not the intent. You want, like you kind of said at the beginning, you want people to experiment with all these different classes and have some variety to it. You don't want to just completely destroy something. Speaking of which, let's go to Assault Trooper. Thankfully, settings will revert back to last season, but they will lose one shot in their clip. So it goes from 8 to 7. So not a bad nerf. Like, it wasn't overly gutted like the the fork of the class in. So what are your thoughts there, Mecca?
I like this a lot. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with LMG, like I've been saying all the time, or as Slob would say, concern trolling the whole time. But what it does is you're taking 5 bullets away from LMG, so then you take bullets away from AT. So you're not fundamentally changing the class. You're just giving it less burst, less DPS, which I think is great because anybody who's faced a AT up close or even kind of medium range, that eighth clip is always what kills you. So you might have a shot against an AT now, and I think that's all Marines ever asked for is at least give us a chance to survive against one of these overpowered classes.
I think it's more like medics asking for help against an AT once they get on you, dude.
Also
It's
true.
it's rough. Draco, what are your thoughts?
Everyone's asking for help. Everyone's asking for help. Yeah, so I just found out about the fork. I think it's bad but good for testing in a sense. I was never really a big fan of the class. Um, I was thinking about this today. It's like removing boosts entirely. I'm sure have you guys played like StarCraft before?
Yeah.
At all, right? So you have like Marines, like they can get this, upgrade of like a stim, so it increases speed but does damage to health. I feel like that could be implemented maybe in the future.
So a Steron.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So like something like that, and then separate the pistols, the dual pistols, to pistol 1, pistol 2, and you can fire them alternately or fire them the same. One's firing. You cannot reload the other one if the other one's in reload, if you're firing the other one. Something like that. Maybe the pistol range is a little bit too high still. I think that was my biggest issue, was having that range be way, way like too far for pistols. Other than that, I think it's a good start.
Okay, and
Yeah, I would say I would have liked to seen the range reduced a little bit, but again, it's a good start.
yeah, and I mean we'll talk about the maps as well. 2 of the 3, I will preface this, are pretty good for AT. The other one not so much. However,
Not at all.
yeah. One class we will bring up is Trooper. It is not being involved in season 54. I think
No.
Yeah, I think the main concern at this point, and this is just me kind of being hypothetical, is the fact that if you have Trooper and LMG at the same time, it is exactly like season 19 of running 2 LMGs again. I could be wrong in that assumption, but this was what was voted on and discussed by their roundtable.
See, I would have liked to seen Trooper included, maybe a small nerf or something, but just not, sharing the same slot like Ranger and Sniper.
Mhm.
And I think that would have solved the issue. I don't know if anybody would have played Trooper at that point, so maybe that's the thought. But again, they did a roundtable with the captains, so it's hard to argue with the result of that. So captains clearly didn't want Trooper in, and what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have been a nice addition, just having it limited to, obviously, like you just said, Mecca, just one, and then you limit them from either having only one sniper or one trooper or whatever in the game. I would love to see the addition, especially for support players like myself. I mean, I find it just having that couple extra rounds to shoot out definitely helps clean up kills and focus fire for sure. So, kind of unfortunate, but hopefully we can see that iteration come into the league soon.
Yeah, and speaking of class restrictions, I know this was one of my mailbag questions, so it's just going to get answered here. Sniper and Ranger both take up 1 slot, so you can either have 1 Sniper or 1 Ranger. You cannot have both. 1 AT max, 1 LMG max, and of course the forked Ripper, you can only have one or the other. So that's really it. Obviously, again, if Trooper was in, I would assume it would be either Trooper or LMG. You know what I mean? But again, maybe that's maybe happens next season. But what do you guys think about the class restrictions? Do you think they should be allowed to have a Ranger and a Sniper, or do you not?
One or the
See,
other.
I think it should be one or the other as currently constructed. My thought last night was if you remove the marksman rifle from the Ranger, gave it a few extra clips of MP5 or something, I think then it could have existed, outside of the sniper kind of class slot. So I would have liked to seen that, but I understand a lot of Rangers like to use marksman rifles, so I just don't think they can both be in the game if the marksman rifle's there. So I would have liked to seen Ranger change a little bit, but I think it makes complete sense that you can't use them at the same time.
Okay. All right. Well, then, let us move on to the season format and the maps and the schedule here. So, first and foremost, the maps for this season, voted by the captains, were EC, Urban Decay, and KR. What do you guys think about these
Whoa.
maps? Yeah, what do you... And let me say, it's Champions version of KR, not Ox Abomination. So, Mecca, what do you think
Okay.
about these maps?
Listen, man, I'm not very nostalgic as a person in general, but when was the last time we played KR in a season?
Season
I don't know.
23?
It's been a while.
Five.
No. Season 23 or 24. One of those two, we definitely played KR. But
And then
it
before
has been a
that,
while.
it's been in once since the hiatus, I think. Maybe twice, but I think just once because I don't think we played it for a season. So it's just nice to see KR back. Hopefully, I think I remember liking. I don't remember exactly what Champs KR was, but I do remember liking it. I think. Obviously, Titan's still going to be at a disadvantage, but I think I remember that map having less of a disadvantage for Titan than the other iterations, and I'm just glad it's not Ox Abomination KR. As far as UD goes, one of my favorite maps. Love it. EC, the standard, good to have it back. Cool to see EC and KR in the same season as well, the two OG maps. So a little nostalgia trip from that too.
Yep. What do you think, Draco?
I like it. Just like Mecca said, a lot of nostalgia going on. I think EC is a very balanced map, especially for like lower tier squads. It gives them a little better of a fighting chance. May surprise some like mid tier squads. UD, it's a very interesting map, very dynamic. I like it a lot. And then KR, I don't remember Champs version either, but if it's kind of like similar but with a few changes, I just like to see that as well. Yeah, with the concern of Titan being a little weaker, but yeah, I just love to see the map. How about for like playoffs? Is that going to affect the same? Are these maps going to be played there as well, or is that going to be changed up for playoffs champs?
So for playoffs, from what I was told, it will be voted on from this map pool 1 week before playoffs. So captains will vote and decide which maps we'll see for playoffs. So it's going to be ECUD. the two most balanced. You're not going to see KR in the playoffs.
Also, I just did a little research, and apparently we've used KR 3 times since been back. 21, 23, and 24 we used KR.
Yeah. Okay. Personally, as somebody who plays AT, I love EC and UD. KR not so much, but I agree. It is a little bit of a nostalgia trip to have EC and KR in the same season. I think the last time that happened might have been when we had a different map every week, and we utilized like every single map that we had, right? So that's cool. I will say for season format, captains voted on doing some double headers. So every squad's going to play each other twice. It's going to be an 8-week season, and the weeks 1 and 8 are just going to be 3 matches. 2 through 7 are going to be 4 matches a week. That's what the captains voted for, and that's where we're at. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I would prefer a shorter season, but I don't really care in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing the same games. Yeah, you're playing the same amount of games, just in 2 less weeks.
Yeah.
Yep, seems fine. I know there's been fatigue in the past, so we'll see if that plays an effect.
Yeah, fair enough. Before I actually go into the schedule, let's go ahead and take a look at our squads for the season. Obviously, we have Bugs, we have Do the Do, we have Dead Squad, CCP, AE, and Care Package. So looking at these squads, Mecca, I'll start with you. Who do you have in 6th?
It's got to be American Eagle. They're going to inspect that dude as medic for some reason. And MTR is not playing Nader this season, I heard. He's playing Marine. So, like, their only kill potential was MTR's mortars, and they're taking that away. So, I just don't see Care Package beating anybody, including Bax's squad. I'd have to look real quick at what maps they play each other on, but if Bax is able to snipe on KR versus them, it's not going to be a good time. Let's see. It's UD, so that doesn't matter too much. And the second one is KR. So yeah, I'm gonna say American Eagle is gonna be last place.
Okay. Draco, who you got on your sixth?
Hate to say it, my squad, American Eagle. But hey, you never know. You never know. Crazier things have happened. But
Yeah, I mean, we're all in agreement there. I also have American Eagle. I went with a little bit of a projected lineup. I'm kind of sad to hear MTR is playing Marine, not because he's switching from Nader, but because he's not playing Medic. I know we talked about this last season during one of the USL live segments or one of the matches, but he is a very serviceable med, and he's not gonna die stupid deaths or forget to heal you like that dude. So my starting lineup with that in mind would have been Ghost, 2 aka Cannibal, Cal as Medic, Smackrock, Stoink, MTR's Med, and then you have Sparker Mites. I think that's their best lineup to try and beat backs and maybe upset somebody else.
You're gonna bench Draco when he's right here, dude? What the hell?
I'm benched.
Did I have him written down? Did I just not say him?
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
not
my
showing
bad.
up.
No,
See you later.
Draco, you're definitely in that lineup. So it would be you and then Mites or Spark, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. So we're all in agreement that American Eagle is sixth seed. Who you got for fifth? Mecca.
I think this is another pretty obvious one. It's going to be Click Clack Pow.
Mhm.
I could see them splitting with American Eagle, but I think they'll outkill them in the head-to-head overall. So they're going to take it, even if they do lose one. I also wouldn't be shocked if they won both. I just don't see them having a chance against any other squad. They have a lot of people, but not a lot of difference makers. You'll see backs on KR, but one of the KR games he has is against American Eagles, so it kind of limits his output on Sniper, because Sniper on UD is not going to be very good, and Sniper on EC he might get some kills, but you just can't push chokes and everything. So I just don't see, there's not really a difference maker besides him. I do think you'll see CT improve over the season. If they put Llama on Marine, he could get better over the season, but I think that Llama's probably going to end up netting for them. So they don't have a lot of kill potential, so I see them getting fifth place.
Okay, Draco, who you got?
Same pick. CCP. I really like Llama on that team. He's my pick for Cave Beast. As long as he shows up and plays either Medic or Marine, I really feel like he's going to have the biggest impact on that squad. Jake, if he shows up, he would be another impact player for this team. Jaeger was also great for weaponized autism. He had really great streams. I think it's just his positioning was my biggest concern. But it's a decent team. It's, I feel like this team can be competitive, especially on KR open with backs of Sniper. I think might surprise some mid-tier teams.
We're all in agreement. Once again, I also have CCP at fifth. My biggest concern, I agree with you, like, even CT has great streams. Jaeger, good streams. Llama, good streams. You mentioned that all of them essentially lack the awareness, the positioning. And unfortunately, they're on a squad that somebody's going to be leading as Sniper. And Bax isn't really the best leader or teacher, if you will, of how to fix your positioning. So while CT might improve, he's not necessarily going to be a huge difference maker. Like, he played in a mix with us last night, and we were sitting there, coaching his positioning, and he did pretty well as LMG. So he may LMG for CCP unless Bax switches off Sniper on one of the maps, because he's going to take that class back. But yeah, I don't think they split with AE. I think they definitely beat AE both times. But I think those are their only 2 wins this season. So moving on to the 4th seed. Who do you have, Mecca?
I'm gonna have Dead Squad here. It was pretty close, but I think my number 3 just has a little bit more top end talent, more rounded out. I think Dead Squad could be good. I don't think they're going to beat the top 2. They have a chance to beat my 3rd. I think they're going to wipe out 5 and 6. So they're kind of in the exact position for that. You'll see people like Pandy pop off, Brillhart, Ender when he plays, and Manu. All those guys will be really good against the lower tier, and you'll see some struggles versus the top tier. With Pandy, playing like Pandy, Typhoon being over aggressive, Manu dying with 250 sometimes, and Dave being super rusty. They have overall pretty decent talent. I don't know if they can put it together to really compete against the top end talent in the league.
Okay, Draco, who you got?
For right now, I have Bugs there. The only reason why I have Bugs there at the
Whoa!
moment is just, oh yeah,
Oh
we're putting Bugs there right at 4th. Oh yeah. The major reason who's leading for that team?
Well, Fosso just joined, so
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh, there you
say
go.
if that
that
changes your mind,
that kind of goes into our
I didn't know that.
our free agency
you can edit
pickups.
if you want.
I literally
Yeah.
did this list. You just
You can change
Thanks,
your list
Foss.
if you want now.
Damn. Well, I guess that changes that. Yeah, I would say that then it would be Dead Squad. Then would be because they were like alternate for me, so I put Dead Squad there. I do feel like with the addition, I think Dave coming back, I think he's a really solid player. Um, it feels like this team could really get there as far as champs as long as Bird leads that team. He's got a really good talent on that team. I feel like as long as it's up to Bird's leading, and if he leads well, I think that team will do very, very well.
Hmm. I also have Dead Squad, and I will preface this by saying I think they do have the best medic duo in Manu and Stav. Um, but I agree with Mecca amongst like the fighting power. That's kind of where they're lacking from the rest of the teams for me. I think you let Manu lead. I think you have BB just focus on killing, and either play LMG or play Marine, one of the two, and go from there. I think Manu's the better leader, and he tends to focus more on healing when he leads versus when he's just kind of sitting there helping shot call. You know what I mean? Like Mecca mentioned his 250 energy deaths. I think he focuses more when he's leading on his energy and his health and the health around everybody, and less trolling. Um, but for me, I mean, the lineup I got for these guys are Bird, Manu, Stav, Pandy, Typhoon, Brill, Ender, Mercy. I think Mercy fits in as a solid 8th Marine for these guys versus Uni or anybody else really
What
on
about
that.
Dave? What about Dave?
I don't think Dave's gonna show. I
He's
know.
SP'd a couple times.
Has he?
Yeah,
Well
he was
then
on
yeah.
last night, I think.
Then Dave fills in for Mercy, and Mercy shows in when Brillhart has to go AFK to take care of his kid. Um, but I do like the thought of Mercy coming in as Marine versus Medic. There have been several seasons now where I've played in matches with him, and his heals don't register. There's something about his connection or the drops in the server. It just happens to him more frequently than every other medic. So
Yep.
it'd be nice to see him, play as a killer. And I mean, he showed when he subbed in for Kevin last season that he can play. I think nobody should sleep on him on that roster, and I think he deserves a shot at that starting lineup. To be fair,
I
moving.
completely agree with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Mercy is a mouser as well, so he's got the good AR aim, and the same thing about his lag heals too. I've played with him many seasons, and sometimes his med kit just doesn't go off right next to me, so I think that's a good call.
Yeah. So moving on to our 3rd seed, Mecca. Who you got?
I'm gonna put care package here. Um, care package and Dead Squad was hard for me because I think Dead Squad, like I said, has a decent starting 8. I worry about their activity with Valheim and Dave being rusty, and then Pandy kind of running it down mid. But with care package, they have a lot of good talent. I think Exodus is going to really bloom this season under a squad with um, equal to him Marines around him, so he doesn't have to just hard carry like he did in Law and Order, or play more of a support role like he did on MDR. If they allow him to shine, I think Exodus could have put up big numbers. And it's the same adage as always. If Nin shows, they're going to be dangerous, but he's not going to show, so I'm not worried about him. Pretty good medic duo as well with Havoc and Abath. Um, Kind of both shoot first meds, so that could be an issue. And then aside from Leak, not a lot of leading experience behind him. So if Leak has to miss a game, or if there's something off with Leak, I worry a little bit about the leadership, which is why they end up at third for me, and why they could slip down to four if they lose to Dead Squad.
Okay. Draco?
Yeah, I also have a care package there. I think when I look at this team, I see a lot of like hot and cold players. So the medics are really solid here. Exodus is a really solid LMG, and Sabo is an LMG. So like, who would you rather play as LMG would be my question to you guys. But before you guys answer that, I think when you have players like Sabo and Shasta, like, what are you going to get out of that week to week? Plus, as League is new, like kind of new to leading, or is he going to do really well? Is he going to succeed? We'll see. Maybe it's a combo of Exodus and League. But yeah, I think this squad needs a few more additions, and I think this squad will take off pretty well.
So, I also have care package at 3. I will say I think you let Exodus play LMG over Sabo. I like Sabo, but I think Sabo and Pandy are almost identical players to me. Both hot and cold. Playoff Pandy and Suicide Sabo are the same player to me. So I think you get more consistency with Exodus, and he got to really practice LMG last season, the second half of last season, after taking it from our user. And from the mixes I've seen, and even from the matches that I've seen, anytime he had a medic with him, he was putting up numbers, right? In terms of like the leadership or the matching of pieces, I think it's very simple. I think you have Leak and Shas with a medic, and then you have all your aggressors on one side and let Ninja solo. I think that's going to be their best bet. So you put Leak, Shas, and Abath together in a group, and then you have Havoc, Axie, Samara, and Sabotage with another, and then if Ninja shows, he's your solo. If Ninja doesn't show, Sabotage is probably your solo. But yeah, that's my third seed. I think they also do have a very capable med duo. I think they're in that term. I think they're ranked 3 for me though, in terms of medics. Again, I think Dead Squad has the best medic duo, but lack firepower, and care package is kind of, I would say, yeah, right in the middle of the pack in terms of firepower. So moving on to the second seed, who do you have, Mecca?
I'm gonna have to take Bugs here. Might seem biased, but after last season's loss to OFB, and then losing Rio and replacing with Kaga, and then maybe losing some other guys, like I don't see Jeff on the roster yet. I don't see TG on the roster yet. I don't know if they're joining. There might not be room for them anymore. So I'm gonna have to put Bugs here. I think I mean, obviously Bugs can win. It wouldn't shock anybody if Bugs won. It's not like they're by far the number 2, but I think they just have better killers than Dead Squad and Care Package, and their meds might not be as good depending on who plays as those two, but I think they have a better med duo than Care Package. Probably not better than Dead Squad, but their killers are just better, so they edge them out there. I think I don't know if Fax is playing Marine or not, or if Staley's play Marine? Are they going to do Bonds Fax, Bond Slob, Bond Slate? So they have options, which is always good. They can kind of tool around with the lineups, but I would just be interested to see who their starting 8 is, and if they recruit Jeff and TG, or if Jeff and TG are kind of out already because they didn't join early enough.
Yeah. All right. Who you got at number 2, Draco?
I also have Bugs, mainly because like I just don't know what their lineup would look like. I'm not really 100% sure whether. I mean, they have plenty of talent on that team. You could do whatever. And also, like, who else is going to fill any of those slots, like TG or Colossal joining? I don't really know. I just feel like the number 1 ranked team has more space and more ceiling. So it was close, in my opinion, like to put Bugs up there. I didn't know Fosso joined, so now having a leader there, it makes them a little bit more potent. But yeah, I think overall, I think it's just the firepower question. I think Iso is great, Kaga's great. Now you have Fosso joining up as well. I think they can definitely make a splash. We'll see what they can do.
All right, well, finally we have a difference in opinion. My second seed is Do the Do, mainly because they're only at 8 players right now. I'm sure there's quite a bit of speculation of who's filling that roster up, but just I know Chris is still rating in WoW, so he's not going to show up to every Sunday. And right now he's your 8th man on the roster. So who are they going to get? Probably Iron, probably Sov. If Sov is playing, right? But just because there's so many question marks in regards to who they're going to fill out the roster with and who their second medic's going to be, because right now I only see Victim, right? Obviously, again, if Iron joins, that fixes it. But even then, Iron is still kind of wish-washy in terms of showing up every week too. So if he misses a game when he does join, who's going to be the second medic alongside Victim? So that's kind of why I have them at number 2. I think they have the firepower to compete. They could even be upset by either Care Package or Dead Squad, depending on the map and depending on how they play. But yeah, that's what I got. So then I'm assuming your number 1 is Do the Do, Mecca. Same with you, Draco?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I had Bugs before Foster joined because I know that Ernie can lead. Yes, it would sacrifice his killing potential. However, I think him alongside just about everybody else on that team are very vocal. I think it would have been fine. But Fosto joining to go ahead and lead gives Ernie that just shot calling mentality and being able to focus on killing. So right now, based off their roster, even without TG or Jeff joining yet, I think they have a more complete roster. They equal out in firepower against who Do the Do has right now in Care Package. And the medics, in my opinion, is probably going to be Slob and Bonds. I think you see Fax and Staley interchange in that, and then also both of them playing other classes. I don't think there's going to be a set lineup per se. I think it's just going to depend on the week and who they play and just who can show, right? So I think they've got a good rotation. They've got people that can play multiple classes, and I think just out of everybody's roster, they're the more complete roster at this point in time. You guys got anything else to add?
I do think it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be Slob and Staley over that, or sorry, Bonds and Staley over that, because I think Fax is going to be the 6th Marine because you got Chompy, Fausto, Iso, Kaga, Ernie. That's 5. And then I think you probably put Fax Marine and then do Bonds Staley would be my top 8.
Okay.
Because I think Bonds and Staley are both better than Slob, and I think Slob would even agree with that. So I think that's probably what you get. And then as far as Do the Do goes, it's obviously a lot of speculation in who else is joining. Right now, I can't disagree with you. If you're just looking at the rosters, if nobody else joined, I think Bugs has a better roster. But I think there's people coming down the pipeline that can change those rankings if they do end up playing and joining on Do the Do. So that's why I have Do the Do number 1.
Okay. What was
Yeah. I kind of have the same sentiment as well. Like, because I feel as though there's a lot of top end talent still available as free agency. So like any of those players go to do, I think they'll be definitely the top team. So
Well, let's take a look at free agents, shall we? Let me get Fausto off my list since he joined while we were setting this up. Of the free agents available, who do we see going to do the do to help fill out their roster? Because again, right now they're only sitting at 8.
could see Iron going there.
Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah,
We know
Iron
Jeff's not going to go.
How about
No,
you, Eric?
Jeff won't be there.
I might. I miss like all of October though, so even if I did
Yeah.
join, like, and we only have 10
Yeah,
people,
8
that's
games
kind
this year,
of rough.
though.
Yeah, I figured
Um,
if you joined, Yosh would be coming right behind you.
That's
Yeah,
a fair assessment.
I don't think Trizens plays. I know he's been on free agents, but I think he would have accepted one by now. I think Yosh probably ends up on do the do or care package. He played with a lot of those guys on care package for a little bit last season. He likes a lot of those guys. I don't think he's welcome back onto dead squad. After last season's antics, so TG I could see on bugs. I don't know where else he would land.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think he would either be bugs or not playing. Jeff, I could see maybe going to care package. Does he go to dead squad? Is he still friends with all the WoW guys, or is there a rift there? Because that would certainly upgrade them. Now, if Jeff joined, I think they would move into my third spot. And then you have a lot of people who would kind of fill out rosters. I think you see Hop probably go to care package. DP probably joins American Eagle, I would assume. RRU, I think, can probably have an invite for anybody, kind of as like a project player. I would like to see on somebody. He might just go to American Eagle. So yeah, there's a few difference makers, but I think it's pretty easy to predict where most of them will end up.
Yeah, I agree. I think TG's bugs or doesn't play. I think Jeff goes to bugs. He could play for care package. I think he's still cool with everybody on dead squad. So one of those three. Hop, I think you see him go to probably either care package or dead squad. I don't think because he wants a shot to play, right? I don't think he got a chance to play last season much. So I definitely think he would like to actually start a little bit. Phony and Sin weren't talked about. I know Phony was, I think he showed up to just about every match for Dark Slayers, but didn't always get to play. I think he would be a solid 6th Marine or even a solid 2nd Medic, to be fair. Sin,
he's just not active enough during the week,
Yeah. Metal, speaking of activity, is usually on for the most part. He can med, he can marine. For a little bit there, he actually looked like Weaponized Autism, like their 2nd best player at times. The streams and Lost Snipes were pretty solid. So interesting to see. I think he could join just about any of the squads. Obviously, Bugs is pretty full. He could be a filler player for Do the Do, minus personality antics.
He'll never join us. So I would block that.
There you go. So he either goes to care package, dead squad, CCP, or AE. All right. So now that we've done our power ranking, so you guys overvote me and put Do the Do first, Bug second, care package third, dead squad fourth, CCP 5, and AE at 6. Talk about playoff format. It will be going back to the top 4. No more everybody's included, which was bullshit anyways. No more participation trophies. Get in the top 4 and play in the playoffs. What do you guys think about that one?
I think it's a wise call. Last season I could have seen 5 getting in and having a 4 versus 5 playoff. That would have been okay with me. But this season, I don't want to disparage the bottom 2 teams. I just don't think they have a chance to beat the top 4. So it just seems kind of like a waste of a week to waste it on semis. If you want to get into playoffs, beat them during the regular season. That's kind of how it is.
Yep, fair enough. And
yeah,
Draco?
Yeah, I agree with that. I almost feel like should be like a best of the rest kind of champion for like the fifth and sixth squad to fight it out for BOTR. So that would be my only suggestion. But other than that, yeah, I agree with the setup.
All right, so let's before we actually do our week one predictions, let's just go ahead and go over the schedule. So once again, there will be double headers. It will be 8 weeks. Everybody plays each other twice. The coin flip will be once again the very first time the captains play each other can choose to defer for the next go around if they win, or they can choose the side on the map they're playing that week. So let's say Do the Do versus American Eagle first week EC. Um, Do the Do can defer, and then they play each other again on EC. Oh, they actually do get each other on EC, so it'll just be swapped, right? But for example,
Yeah.
other squads, it doesn't always line up that way because of just this double header mess. Um, so there are going to be certain times where you might get a match on EC against a squad, but the other time you're going to get on KR. So EC is more balanced. They might defer. They get to choose side the next time. You know what I mean? Um, so that's pretty much been how it's been the last 2 seasons because we've had 6+ squads. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Mecca.
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, so really no change there. Um, so let's move on to week one matches. I don't know what the times are going to be. I don't think they've been decided yet. I don't think the schedule's been input on the site. So I'm just going to go down the list of we have Do the Do versus American Eagle. Mecca, go ahead.
And this is on EC.
Yes.
I think it's Do the Do. I don't think it's going to be close. Probably going to be a glorified stat, but I would like to see American Eagle play a little bit slower, even though it's boring to play against. But I don't think American Eagle really has a chance in this game, so I don't want to spend too much time on it.
Okay, fair enough, Draco.
Yeah, I also have Do the Do over American Eagle, probably like 90 to 25. Probably going to be a stat pad, but try to slow it down as best we can. But yeah, that's how I think it would be played out as.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. I don't think I've seen American Eagle SB once yet again. It's V2 all over again. They barely SB to try and work their kinks out and try to get better week by week. So it's gonna be the same thing all over again. So next match, I mean, this is probably match of the week. This is probably the only actually competitive match for week one. We have Dead Squad versus Bugs. What do you got, Mecca?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be pretty good. I mean, I think we know what Dead Squad's going to want to do. If Manu has any say, they're going to play very, very passive. If it's Bird's leading, he'll push more, regroup, go north a little bit. Manu will go north too. And I think Bugs are just going to want to push out. I know Fausto's leading, but Fausto with this crew is different than Fausto with DS. I think he's going to have more confidence in his squad. And I think you're going to see old Fausto leading kind of all around the map. Solo flanks here, Vision there. They're going to kind of try to, hoard them into one angle, or they might death ball push a few times. So I think I give it to Bugs. But Dead Squad could keep this very competitive and have a chance if they keep it slow and not a lot of battles at all. Depends on the side too, because if Dead Squad gets left, they're going to have even more camping capabilities. So I think that Bugs wins this, but I see it as a very, very low scoring game.
Yeah,
Probably, I would give the over under on this game 49.5.
and before you go, Draco, Bird and going north when south is king should not go in the same sentence. All right, go ahead, Draco.
I NT'd with him like 3 times last night, and he went north a bunch. I was like, what is this? Who is this guy?
Hey, can we get maps so we can actually go play north or something like that? Can we like make something like that happen?
Oh man,
Forza plays north.
I honestly think before you go into this match prediction, I honestly think even if better fights were noticeable north, everybody would still go south just because of comfortability of fighting south and looking up or side to side versus trying to fight down. That's like going back to like when you used to duel people back in like NML underneath
Right.
fucking the trenches, everybody will
Yeah.
always prefer dueling from the south side. So I think it's just there's no rhyme or reason other than the fact of comfortability. But go ahead and go back to Dead Squad versus Bugs, Draco.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be we'll say the first upset of the season. I think I have Dead Squad over Bugs 30-27. Again, I just feel like Dead Squad might be more of a complete team, and maybe they've been playing together, and I think they might just squeak out a win here.
I think.
Wow. So you're predicting Dead Squad wins?
Yeah. All right, all right. I got to
Right.
give it to Bugs. I think again with Fausto, if Fausto didn't join, I think I would have picked Dead Squad. But with Fausto joining and really completing like the leadership that they need, I think that they just kind of take this. It will be a very slow game, like Mecca was saying. Again, Manu I think is going to show up and lead this one. And I think Bugs just picks on Pandy. I like Pandy, but you have Pandy and Typhoon. I think they're both gonna individually be over aggressive at opposite times and just both drop. And then it's 8v6. So yeah, regardless of Dead Squad having, again, in my opinion, the best medic duo, I just don't think they have the firepower to fight Bugs. And I think it'll probably be something along the lines of pretty much reversing your score, but like 30-20 in favor of Bugs. So moving on to the last match of week 1, it will be Click Clack Pow versus Care Package. Mecca, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be care package pretty easily. EC nerfs back sniping, even though he likes to say he ranks and that matters, but you can't push anything with a sniper, so that's going to matter a lot against care package, especially if they get the kills. You know, if they get one kill and then can't push, it's not going to matter. So I'm going to take care package by quite a bit in this game. Click Pow doesn't have a leader. Bax is going to stop leading 5 minutes into the game and then try to beg somebody else to lead. So it's just going to be a mess right from the get go. Um, so yeah, I'm going to have care package by quite a bit, and I think Sabo is going to have like 25 kills.
Yeah, Draco.
Yeah, I have Care Package over Click Clack Pow. Probably same kind of score line you guys do over American Eagle, but just a little bit more kills for CCP. 35 kills probably all go to Bax. So I just feel like that's how it's going to go. Bax is going to get the most kills on the team. So
I don't know. I think Llama or CT might outkill Bax. Bax will get the hits,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I think those guys will finish the kills off. Unless Bax holds a shot for after he sees like Llama or Jaeger or somebody stream somebody up, you know what I mean? But yeah, I unfortunately it's EC for Bax. I think you might actually see him just LMG on this one. That would be the right call to make and do some ambush plays to try and catch them off guard. Because yeah, Sabo's on the other end. He's going to be over aggressive because he thinks it's a stat pad squad. You can catch him off guard. But yeah, I think Care Package wins by probably 50, 60 plus.
Yeah, over under is 48.5 spread.
I know the full schedule will be released later, but I can go ahead and say it now. So week 1 and week 8 are the only weeks we do not have double headers. So week 2, you'll have American Eagle versus Bugs, CCP versus Dead Squad, Care Package versus Do the Do, and then CCP versus Bugs. So both Bugs and CCP have double headers that week. Week 3, the squads that have double headers are Dead Squad and Do the Do. So AE versus Dead Squad, CCP versus Do the Do, Bugs versus Care Package, and Do the Do versus Dead Squad. Week 4, CCP versus American Eagle, Dead Squad versus Care Package, Do the Do versus Bugs, and Care Package versus American Eagle. So American Eagle and Care Package are your double headers. Week 5, Bugs versus American Eagle, CCP versus Dead Squad, Do the Do versus Care Package versus Click Clack Pow. So CCP and Care Package both have the double headers. Week 6, American Eagle, CCP, Dead Squad versus Care Package, Do the Do versus Bugs, and Bugs versus Dead Squad. Bugs and Dead Squad have your double headers. And Week 7, CCP versus, Care Package versus American Eagle, Dead Squad versus Do the Do, Bugs versus CCP, American Eagle versus Do the Do. So American Eagle and Do the Do have a double header. And then for Week 8, it's just Dead Squad versus American Eagle, CCP versus Do the Do, and Bugs versus Care Package. That sums it up for the standings, or our preseason standings, our class changes. One thing I didn't touch on was some of the dev stuff. As you know, if you've been squad battling, the camp timer is automated in your team chat. So if you're sitting around for, I think it's like 15-30 seconds is I think when I noticed it last night, it will spam you every 15 seconds until you move. And then I don't know if it prompts anything. I think if you don't move after a while, it will give away the cords automatically. Kind of like what we saw in the playoff match of Birds versus OFB. We saw that happen. So I'm assuming that's the same case. One interesting change I will say, though, is baselines got shortened. They got fixed for the current map selection. However, think of your baselines terrain like your dropship, like if you were in pub. If you stand in the baselines for 60 seconds, you get specced, and you get that 2-minute penalty. So it's like that player loses a slot. You could probably sub somebody in after that. But that specific player has a 2-minute penalty. If it happens again, then you start losing player slots. I could be wrong there, Mecca. That sounds right?
No, I think that's what Victim confirmed. Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I think it's just more fine tuning of the camp timers and the automatic spec of being spec'd and making sure the scripts work correctly. I know I saw something along the lines of Axis working on something for spectators to vote for the MVP. What do you guys think about that one?
That's cool. Obviously, you shouldn't replace like the captain's nomination, but it would be cool to see like fan MVP or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So Bugs can't troll and just make Jeff every time.
Yeah.
Draco, what do you think about that one?
Oh, I love it. I love the fan MVP thing. I think that's a great addition, and I think just overall, I think the league's going in the right direction, just evolving, and I think everything's going really well. I think this is a good direction where USL is going, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I share the same sentiments. I don't know if the vote MVP thing is set in stone of being included or not, but I do agree. I know there's specifically script-wise, like you have to do the star MVP command for the stats to get sent to the file for Chris to upload to the site. So in conjunction with that, I don't think it should replace the captain stating their MVP. But it is nice to kind of follow through with kind of what Havoc was doing in Spec Chat on Discord, saying, all right, vote for X, Y, and Z as your MVP for the week type thing. So it is cool. It gives spectators a little bit more to participate in while they're watching the matches instead of just listening to us ramble on USL Live and possible camp fests, you know what I mean? So I do think that's a cool idea. I just don't think it should replace the actual MVP that the captains get. So you get two, essentially.
Yeah.
There should also be like whoever gets first kill, or vote for whoever gets first kill, first death, that sort of thing. Would be kind of interesting.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would definitely
First blood,
be fun.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. That's essentially it, aside from mailbag, which we're going to go into next. So does anybody...
Go
ahead.
Actually just said too that restart and endgame work again in SPs, so for
Okay.
tonight they should work as soon as the start game.
Perfect. Because I know that something was happening where anytime you restarted or anything like that, or start game, like everybody that was granted in the arena had to be re-granted. So that was kind of weird.
Yep.
But okay, good to know. Draco, Mecca, either of you have any mailbag questions?
I do, yeah. It's
Okay.
kind of a funny one, so I can save it for the end if you have actual mailbag questions.
Yeah, I don't really have many funny ones, but
I do have one. My question is, should bottom tier squads be able to play more than one limited class? So an example would be two LMGs against a higher tier squad, and then limit them when they're playing each other, the bottom tier squads. What do you guys think?
Uh, no, but if you did ever do that, it could be part of like the mercy rule everybody was talking about. Like, oh, you're down 50, you can have 2 rippers now or whatever.
Okay.
That'd be the only. I still wouldn't like to see it, but that'd be the only like acceptable use of that. I think.
yeah, Mecca took my exact answer. I would say that, if and when, like, again, I don't believe in the mercy rule, but if it is a blowout, I think in order to make it somewhat competitive or more enjoyable for spectators, then yeah, some of the class limits could be lifted, but I don't think that's going to happen. Definitely not this season, but maybe down the line if people are still shouting for a mercy rule type.
It would be funny to see American Eagle do like 6 naders versus Bucks.
Something like that.
All the mortars, dude.
Be great content.
Oh man. Let's see. What do I have? All right, I got a good one. Who do you think will be the players to watch this season out of the new batch of USL players from CTF, or maybe the top picks to win Cave Beast Award out of the CTF players? Draco, I know you said Llama earlier, but you got anybody else you're looking at? All right, moving to Mecca.
Besides Llama, it's pretty few and far between. I don't even know. Maybe. I mean, Spark could always get a look, I guess. I'm just looking through the squad. Maybe Jag. I think Jag won last year though, didn't he? Or no, Cal won. Cal won last year, so Jag I would throw in there too. Jag playing on care package if he gets into any games and improves over the season. I think if Cerrito joins somebody, aka Jeff Bezos, I think he has a chance at it. Other than those three, I can't really think of anybody that would be in contention.
I would say that if CT can avoid crossing his baselines, he would be in contention. Um, Real quick, over under on how long it takes for CT to recross his baselines. Michael, what you got?
No.
Game 1,
No.
140 seconds.
We gotta make a rule for him. We gotta he's gotta be completely immune to that.
No.
Come on.
But going back to you, Draco, I don't know if you stepped away when I asked. Other than Llama, who do you see as a possible Cave Beast winner?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I would say maybe Jaeger also. So the Jaeger and Llama on Click Clack Pow might be battling it out this season, I would think.
Yeah,
My guess.
I agree. I think all the whatchamacallit, all the people eligible to win this award are on Click Clack Pow. Minus Jag from Care Package, because Axie's played a few seasons now. I don't think he qualifies for Cave Beast. So I definitely think it's, again, as long as CT doesn't recross his baselines, I think it's between CT, Jaeger, and Llama, depending on how well they play. Even possibly Jerry. He hasn't played in a while. I think he could surprise some people. But other than that, let's move on to that. Kind of goes in with my second mailbag question of over under how many times will Carrot Tank crosses baselines. I'm saying 4.
I think 2 they lose the slot, right? So I'll say 2.
Yeah, but he's got
say at least 3.
10 games to play. Two in one game.
For the season?
Yeah, for the season.
Yeah. How many is there? 8 games? I'll say 16.
Okay.
So how are the baselines like red or something? Are they red? Maybe he's colorblind. I don't know. You gotta change the colors.
I will say the one that was questionable, even though he stopped and stared for like 20 seconds on Molo's map. Morgan base. There we go. The one that was just kind of underneath the doorway south of the left base. That one is questionable to see, but every other map you should be able to see exactly where they are, so there's no excuse for it.
Okay.
Because even if you're colorblind, you should see some sort of line,
Yeah. Right.
whether it's red or not. You know.
Yeah. Well, he might have. Is it lower reso? I don't know if he's got a lower reso or he's got it always zoomed out ahead of him.
I mean, if you're on a lower reso, those lines are bigger on your screen.
I would hope so, but I don't know.
All my other questions were kind of answered after going through, everything Fausto told me and Mecca before we started. So, Mecca, what you got for your mailbag?
Let me get the wording right here.
Also, anybody that's listening, if you have any last-minute questions, feel free to message me real quick.
Hold on, I just got another one. Let me read it real quick. Oh, never mind. Where did I go? Okay. Who do you think has the best post game? This is about basketball in Infantry in 2025. Also, with that being said, who would you take on your team for 2v2 ball against any two people in Infantry? I.e., if you had to play today in a 2v2 Infantry B-ball league, who would be on your team?
Legacy or Sov?
In basketball? I mean, it's real life basketball, you know.
Oh, real life basketball. I don't know.
I would take Kevin or Jim, I think, with myself. I think I have the best post game because nobody's going to be able to push me off the block.
Let me preface this then. You have to be in that, right? Like, you yourself has to be in this. So, like,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm probably choosing you, Mecca.
Nice. Good pick.
Yeah. Mosh says he'd take Eva because men. All right. I mean, nobody's moving her.
True.
Fucking man the harpoons, dude. All right, let me see what we got here. This one's kind of a troll one, but how many squads does Bax need to join in the offseason until he gets satisfied? I mean, I'll say the Rats one, he did get kind of trolled.
Yeah.
So that one's not really
for
on
one
him.
game for that.
Yeah. Oh,
Kaga?
speaking of which, I did forget to mention, Bax is in fact banned for week 1. So he is not allowed to play week 1's match. I did forget to mention that. So that is still being upheld. Somebody's typing a question to me, and then we'll probably end it there. Just waiting for it.
Yeah. Bax asked me one, but I'm not going to ask it because it's on the spot.
All right, never mind. I'm not asking that one. That'll do it for USL Live preseason predictions for season 54. I'd like to thank Mecca, Draco, and of course Victim and Military Police because they'll be doing most of the editing for this season as Rom takes his break. Once again, just kind of joking around with the bad takes. I love Rom. Can't wait for him to come back. But that is it. Thanks for tuning in to USL Live.
See ya.